and about. Figured I'd do a quick pass around some of these fields. I'm trying to look for cheatgrass, see if I need to spray ahead of these air drills. This morning is cold. There's a lot of dew, a lot of water. It's cold. It's like 37 degrees Fahrenheit. I think it was 36 this morning. That's not far off from freezing. So we're getting closer and closer to the first freeze of the year. I don't think the forecast is gonna let that happen in the next week, but we'll see. I don't know. Forecast hasn't always been right. But anyways, we should get a big day in the day. Both air drills going, wheel seals holding up on that one bud. Get this slammed out. I really think this is a great year to be putting a lot of winter wheat in, and so I think we're all gonna do it. We're pretty much all in agreement. Keep filling them up, keep rolling. It'd be really nice to throw in the towel right now and be like, you know what, we're done with the major farm operation for the year. Let's call it. It's been a long year. You know, we'd be ready for some slower times. But you know what? Every acre we seed now is an acre less we have to seed next spring. And that takes a lot of pressure off next spring. So we'll keep going. There it be. I'm gonna go ahead and fire up this girl for leg arms. He'll be down in a few minutes, but I'm in the area, so I might as well get it warmed up. That way it's ready to go by the time he gets here. GPS will all be dialed in, satellites will be locked on, and the engine will be warm. Just looking. This is typically an area where I usually saw cheatgrass growing. Again, we've been down this road. Smart thing would be, not thinking about cost, would be just to spray it. Cost and time. Just blanket it, and then that way if there's anything growing in here we don't want, it'll hopefully be dead. But I chem followed that this year, and it's had quite a bit of product on it that's taken care of pretty much everything. It's just that little bit of grasses that I've been waiting all year to grow. I don't see any. If I don't kill them now, they'll be there in the spring when the crop's in it. But until then, if I don't see any, I don't think I'm gonna drive across it, because for one, I don't have time. Two, I don't really feel like spending the money on it. Three, this is super clean because it's been sprayed all year. What do you guys think? Sunrise? That's what I think. Look at that. Beautiful. Good morning.
I think she's ready to work. A little frosty this morning. Not much. Didn't freeze anything like hard, but it got a little chillier, which is kind of surprising. I would expect to be a little later than this, but anyways, let's just kind of run down, just look and see if there's anything that looks out of the ordinary before I just start going. And so I'm looking for bearings to see if there's any bearings that are broken on the packers, looking for broken shanks, looking for tubes that came off the boots, just whatever I see. That way I can not have very many problems when I'm seeding. Alright, I guess we're good to go. Things look okay. Alright, it's about up to operating temperature. It's been sitting here idling for about 10 minutes. Excuse me. Felt that one deep down inside. Let's start rolling. Alright. I like it. So far things are going great. What is my, let's see, let's go a little bit faster, that's why. Say my count is off on my drill. So this number up here counts how much product is going through the tubes, and I watch that number a lot. So like it usually runs around 800 to 830 at about 5.4 miles an hour. If you go to about 5 miles an hour, it's about 790 roughly, 8, somewhere in that range. So it kind of drops. So the slower you go, the lower the number drops. So if I'm going the same speed, let's just say 5.4 and 600, either I got a bridge in the tank, something's plugged to run, or I'm running out of seed and fertilizer, one of the two. So I want to make sure that I'm watching that number. It makes a huge difference. Now granted, this thing's got scales and it's going to tell me like, hey, you're almost out of fertilizer or out of seed. So I don't really have to worry about losing that. It's more of bridging. And what I mean by bridging is inside the tank, what happens is sometimes the fertilizer will make a dome. Everything inside that dome falls out and then gets out in the ground, put out in the field. And in that dome, it bridges. Well, then it keeps all the product up on top, and it doesn't allow it to fall down. So if that happens, you got to go and take a rod and shove down into the tank and try to break it up, or you got to thump on the back of the side of the tank to get it all to break up. And that's usually what happens there. But other than that, it looks good. I'm happy.
For those that might be wondering how the loss was on that AF11, this is stubble. I cut this whole area with AF11. The 230s were not down here. Doesn't that look good? I'm thoroughly impressed. There is not much volunteer growing here at all. Volunteer would be grain that got kicked out of the back of the combine that sprouted from all these rains we've been having. And the other fields have some. This field, it looks good. I see there's some frost too, which shows we had our first frost of the year. So some of these weeds, I think, are gonna bite the dust just naturally. So that's good. All right, well, move on to the next field.
All right, the coyote chase is on. Yeah, I didn't see that. I looked and all of a sudden I saw Kobe out in front, jumped off the bud and off he goes, and there he is. Heading right on over, there's a reservoir right there. Probably running over it and then dodge him, and dog's life. I don't think I could get the same thrill of that chase. He lives for it.
Good morning, everybody. I'm not an air drill. I'm gonna be doing some spraying. That's what I always do, a lot of spraying. So the guys are out seeding, getting that winter wheat knocked out, and I'm trying to stay ahead of them with the sprayer, doing some burn down, as well as taking care of some post-harvest burn down. In other words, all the stuff that's grown in the fields after we harvest that we don't want growing in the fields because we don't want to go to seed for next year. I'm spraying that right now. And I'm actually running the Apache this time, not Big Brute. And I'm gonna show you guys why, because we got something new on it, and it's pretty sweet. So let's go take a look. There she be. She's a well-used spraying machine. We've got about 2,500 hours on this thing, and it needs a little bit of work, but it's still running great, so let's just go take it for a spin. So the first thing you'll notice, we got more screens in here. We upgraded our Invisio 2, I think it's what it's called, to a Viper Plus. This thing is awesome, Viper 4 Plus. And this is just a simple tablet, but it's what it's connected to is what's important. Right there. Look at that beauty. That's a little different, isn't it? This is the Augmenta Field Analyzer from Raven Industries. And it's gonna upgrade the smartness of this sprayer significantly. This system, capable up to 138-foot sprayer, which this sprayer is 100, so we're good there, will analyze what's in front of the sprayer. So as I'm spraying, it'll say, oh, I see green here, I see green there. That's a plant, that's a plant, that's not a plant, don't worry about that. And it'll actually adjust the rate of the sprayer as I'm spraying to apply the product variable depending on the need. So as a variable rate applicator, VRA. And it's a relatively inexpensive system compared to the competitors on the market. And what it does is pretty amazing. It's got quite a range of features. Let's just do a quick overview of the system. That's not part of it. That's the Apache GPS receiver. But this, all this back bracketry here, this is all Augmenta, and that is very customizable depending on what sprayer cab system you're putting on, whatever applicator it may be. This is the Augmenta unit, and here's the ambient light sensor, so that detects how much light is out there in the day. You can't do this at night. This only works during daylight. It has to use a certain amount of light, and when the light gets too dim, the system is just not accurate enough, and it has to shut down and not work. So you got to make sure you have the right light. That's what that's for. This is the fisheye camera. I think it has to do with seeing the sky, the clouds. There's, I don't know, something about that with how it determines its functionality of it. These are the field view cameras. These are the heart of it. There's 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They all have their own purpose, and they span out and look both ways across sprayer and cover sections of field in front of you. And on this side over here is the embedded processor. Of course, we got a little antenna for cellular signal. It's got GPS, Wi-Fi, all the good stuff built into it. And that talks to the sprayer systems, which is linked to that tablet, which we're all controlled from. So let's get in the sprayer, let's get this fired up, and let's go to the field. right, we're in the field, we're wung out. Got our job open on our Viper, ready to go on the Augmenta. So open it up, let's select scan, variable rate, application, go down to VRA burn down, because we're doing fallow. This is fallow that needs sprayed before the end of the year. Couple settings here, let's go. Open it up. So this is what your screen looks like. So here's our sprayer. Camera, just a vision right where this gray cone starts here, this upside down triangle. That's the camera, and it's looking out across the 100-foot width of the sprayer, all this area right here. And it's scanning, and that's what's gonna see the plant material. And when it sees more plants than it likes, it'll up the rate. So right now we're doing 10-gallon work, but it's set so it'll reduce it back down to 6 gallons an acre while it doesn't see much product or much weeds to save on chemical. Then when it sees a lot of weed pressure, sees a lot, and it's like, hey, I need more product to take care of these weeds, it'll up it up to 8, 9, 10 gallons an acre. And then you'll see it as the bars move, that's as it's seeing product. Now, here's the thing. This also is mapping. So it's mapping the field, so it's gonna create a detailed log of where all the vegetation was in the field. For burn down, it's not as critical to keep that kind of log because we're just trying to kill it all. But when you get into, say, desiccation or nitrogen applications or fungicides, all of those, that's critical, because then you could see the healthier crop. Because I'm not spraying crop right now, but if I were on crop spraying, it'd be scanning the healthier crop, and you would get a detailed, extremely accurate mapping of all of the health of your crop, and you can go on and see all the colors, change all the different levels to see where is it thick, where is it thin, where does it look like it might have fungus, where doesn't it, where does it need nitrogen, where does it not need nitrogen. Way more accurate than anything from space can get you, from any satellites. So, and you don't have to fly a drone around and map. You do it while you're spraying. So, and then it's also got the ability to do the variable rate. So while we're spraying, say we're desiccating, it'll say, oh, there's a lot more material here that needs more desiccant. Put more product there. Okay, there's less here, save there. So at the end, you're saving chemical and putting the product where it should be. Does that make sense? Let's get to spraying. So I want to show you guys, there's a little bit of growth right here where the drainage is. Let's take a look at this. You'll see a bunch of lines up here when it sees it. Okay, now it's seeing the green in the field. It's going, oh, there's some weeds. Kick the rate up, went to 8 gallons an acre, 9 gallons an acre, 10 gallons an acre as it's going over that spot of weeds right there, back down to 6. So it does a minimum of 6 just to make sure you get a kill, because there could be some plants that are small and it might not see. But the majority is you're saving 30-some% up to maybe 40% of chemical on areas that don't need it. See, it's 6 right here. We'll get to this ditch. I bet you right here it'll jump up to 9 gallons, 10 gallons. See, it's out a bunch of weeds right there. Okay, so now I switched over to spraying behind the combines. So this is post-harvest spray. The combines harvested a couple weeks ago in this area. You can see there's new growth in here. Let's take a look down here. Oh yeah, lots of growth, lots of growth. Let's slow the sprayer back a little bit, go a little fast. So as we're spraying, the field is variable here. There's some areas where the combines kicked out a lot of loss, and some areas they didn't kick out much at all. And it's pretty cool, you can see it translate up here. So there's a patch of green right here. Oh, see the bars jumping up on this side and not on that side? So it's cleaner on that side, more on that side. So it's putting more rate down, 10 gallons an acre. But as soon as we get to an area, oh, here we go. See, not much out there. 8 gallons an acre, 7 gallons an acre. That's pretty neat. With this old Apache, we have one main control valve that's controlling the flow to the boom, and the boom is consistent across the whole thing. So there's no individual nozzle control with this system right now. This system does not have the PWMs, that's pulse width modulators, that's nozzles that fire on and off. So you're not going to get that kind of benefit from the system on this sprayer. The cameras on the system are pretty good, and so what's awesome is it's taking pictures as you're spraying throughout the field, and it's uploading to the cloud. So if you go back on your computer at the end of the day and you go look at your maps, you're like, whoa, this area was really red, what was going on here? You can actually pull up an image and go, oh, I see. There was a bunch of kochia growing in the middle of that right there. That's why it saw so much green. Or you can say, oh, why was this area so yellow? And you go and look and you go, oh, that was a really hard ground, high alkali, or just not very fertile, whatever reason, the crop didn't grow, it got crusted, didn't grow very good right there. And you can see why those areas showed what they showed on your mapping when you're analyzing it. All right, so I'm in the office, and here is my portal for the Augmenta. This is some of the work we did. These fields are kind of messed up. That was my fault. I didn't start and stop the jobs correctly, but let's just pull a field here. So let's click on this one. We were doing a burn down on this. So we were spraying just weeds, keeping the ground nice and dead before we seeded winter wheat into it. I sprayed ahead of the drills on this, so let's take a look. All right, this is what the Augmenta picked up. So green, obviously, plant index, that's weed index, that's how much density of plants there are. Dark brown, not very many weeds. This is really hard ground here. Pretty much the productive ground, that's really good ground, is gonna have weeds, and the ones not. But let's just see here, let's take a snapshot of the picture. Oh, look at that, that's pretty cool. It took a picture for me. Let's see what this looks like. How dense is the weed here? Oh, I see a lot of green. Don't you guys right there? Look at all that green. So that's the front of the spray right there. Now let's compare that to an area that doesn't have much, like right here. This one's pretty brown. Heading south. Let's take a look at this. Pull this one up, and it looks, yeah, as you can see, no weeds at all. Way in the distance, there's some green out here. So that's the difference. And you can pull up different filters. You can see there's the swaths we did as we were spraying. Really cool. So, no, it gives you a lot of data on what is going on in your fields. And if you want to sit down and go through it all, it's there for you. Let's generate a report on this field. So let's pull this up. So here we go. Here is our weed index. There's the field right there. You can see just a snapshot of it. Gives you an idea of the pressure of the weed. Just kind of interprets the data for you a little bit. Here's our savings. So you can see it says savings 9.1% on that field. Pretty cool. Well, there, I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea of how the Augmenta Field Analyzer from Raven Industries works. So far, it's been pretty fun to use on the sprayer. So I got a lot of acres left to go with it. We're going to keep running it hard.
What's your name? What's your name? That's a weird name to be. Oh yeah, good times. We're having good times.
Wow, I wasn't paying much attention. I'm heading down, going over to another field, and all of a sudden, yup, the tail, all I saw was a tail, and off was us, the rabbit jumped up. I wish I'd have got that right when it happened, just to see his reaction, but another rabbit went down, well actually, is gone. So, alright, adventure continues. You ready for another rabbit? Are you sure? Okay, here we go. Oh, another rabbit within 10 minutes. That dog's gonna have to have new shoes put on his feet, because I think they're getting wore out. Oh, he's stepping on his tongue. That kind of tells you something right there. He's got endurance for his age. He's over 12 years old, but loves the chase. He'll come back soon.